In my line of work, there is one absolute rule. You don't talk to the target. You don't touch them. You erase them. I was paid $100,000 to kill the girl sitting right next to me.
I was running from the monsters in my life because I couldn't take it anymore. I just wanted to survive, and I ended up in the car of the worst one of them all. I felt his stare on my back, that smell of death following me every single day. And then, my assassin became my only shield. And the man who ordered my death is my own father.
My name is Travis. I am a contract killer. And this is the story of the only mistake I ever made. I decided to let her live. Now, the entire city is going to have to die. Rain in Baltimore never cleans anything. It just stirs the filth. Motor oil, garbage, and blood swirling into a toxic cocktail that drains into the gutters. Tonight, the water is ice cold. It hammers the asphalt in a steady, almost hypnotic rhythm. Tap, tap, tap. Like a countdown on a life going dark. I'm standing on the roof of an abandoned industrial building on the west side. Both hands on the rusted metal railing, no gloves. I like the cold bite of the metal. It's the only thing that reminds me I'm still alive, that my nerve endings still work, even if the rest of me has been switched off for years. Below me, the city sprawls like a sick animal. Red and blue neon signs flicker through the fog. Liquor, girls, loans, the holy trinity of misery. From up here, people look like panicked ants, running, hiding, hunting. I check my watch, a black Patek Philippe. Simple, precise. 12:13 a.m. My work is done. 10 minutes ago, a man was still breathing in the third-floor apartment across the street. A small-time dealer who made the mistake of stealing from his supplier. He thought a reinforced door would keep him safe. Thought his barking and his chrome pistol would protect him. He was wrong. I don't even remember his face. That's the problem with this job. Faces fade. They become files, blurry photos, then obstacles, and finally, statistics. I felt no hatred when I pulled the trigger. No pleasure either. Just the hard recoil of the gun, the smell of burnt powder, and the silence rushing back in. Heavy and final. I pull my black coat collar up and head for the fire escape. My boots make no sound on the wet metal. Habit, second nature. In Baltimore, silence is the best armor. If they hear you, you're a target. If they see you, you're already dead. I drop into the alley. The smell hits harder down here. Stale urine and cheap weed. A shape detaches from the shadow near a dumpster. A junkie, probably. Shaking, curled under a soaked piece of cardboard. He looks up at me. Behind the glassy stare, I see pure animal fear. He doesn't know who I am, but his survival instinct is screaming at him not to move. He can smell the predator. I walk past without slowing, without looking directly at him. I'm a ghost drifting through his nightmare. He holds his breath until I'm gone. I walk to my car, a black sedan parked 2 blocks out, beyond the reach of the city's surveillance cameras. Baltimore is an open-air prison. The gangs, Bloods, Crips, and the new Latino factions carve the city up like a poisoned cake. The police? Just another gang. Better dressed, with a legal license to shoot. Here, the law of the strongest isn't a saying. It's the Constitution. I slide the key into the ignition. I catch my own reflection in the rearview mirror. Gray eyes, empty. People say the eyes are the mirror of the soul. If that's true, my mirror is broken. Nothing behind them. No pity, no remorse, no joy. Just a vast, quiet void. I stopped being a man a long time ago. I became a tool, a scalpel in the hands of people with money. They pay me to remove tumors from society, or sometimes to remove the healthy organs that get in the way. I don't ask questions. The why doesn't interest me, only the how. I start the engine. The V8's vibration is reassuring. I pull onto the main avenue, leaving behind the body cooling in the third-floor apartment. Tomorrow, it'll be 3 lines in the local paper. Gang-related shooting in West Baltimore. Nobody will cry. The city will have forgotten him by noon. I drive without a destination for a while, letting the city scroll past. I pass the university, an invisible border. On one side, red brick walls, lit libraries, students dreaming of futures. On the other, the darkness I come from. I see a group of girls spilling out of a college bar, laughing, short skirts despite the cold, heels dangling from their hands. Carefree. They have no idea that in the alleys just beside them, wolves are watching. For 1 second, my eyes linger on them. Not desire, anthropological curiosity. How do they do it? How do they laugh when the world is this ugly? I look away. Their innocence is an illusion. Or maybe my world is the only real one. I go home. Home. The word is ironic. It's a loft on the top floor of a secured building in the Harbor District. Clean, modern, completely impersonal. No family photos, no plants, no memories. Just black and gray furniture. Functional. If I vanished tomorrow, no one could guess who lived here. I drop my keys on the marble kitchen counter. The sound echoes through the empty space. I go to the bar and pour a glass of bourbon. Not for the buzz, for the burn. I need to feel something, anything. I settle into the leather chair facing the floor-to-ceiling window that overlooks the harbor. The black water reflects the city lights, almost beautiful if you don't know what lurks beneath the surface. I think about my childhood, briefly. Blurred images of screaming, of blows, of hunger. Violence was my mother tongue. I learned to hit before I learned to talk. I learned not to cry because tears invited more pain. Today, I'm rich. I'm feared. But I'm still that child sitting in the dark, waiting for the monster to come. Except now, the monster is me. I take a sip. The amber liquid burns my throat. That's when the phone on the coffee table lights up. No ring, just a vibration, like a nervous insect twitching against the glass. A burner phone. Nobody has this number except my main contact, the middleman. I look at the screen. A single encrypted message. New contract, priority alpha. Double payment. I set down my glass. Double payment. That means the target is important, or the job is complicated, or both. I should be tired. I should want to sleep, but my body responds instantly. Adrenaline, that old friend, begins moving through my veins like a slow current. It's the only thing that makes me feel alive. The hunt. I pick up the phone and type a single reply. Location? The answer comes back 10 seconds later. An address and a digital file name. I get up and walk to my secure computer. I don't know yet who I'll have to kill. Man, woman, politician, criminal, doesn't matter. As far as I'm concerned, they're already dead. They're walking around, breathing, maybe laughing right now, but they're already corpses. They're just waiting for me to show up and break the news. I sit down in front of the screen, face lit by the cold blue glow of the monitor. I type the access code. The files open. Usually, the files hold photos of rough-looking men, long rap sheets, faces carved up by vice and bad decisions. But what appears on my screen tonight is different. A photo. Candid shot, probably taken with a telephoto lens. A young woman, brown hair, slightly disheveled. Large, pale eyes staring at something far, beyond the frame. She looks fragile, but there's something in the line of her jaw, a kind of tension. Underneath the photo, a name. Amelia Vance. I stare at the face. Why would anyone pay double rate to eliminate a college girl? I zoom in on her eyes. They're not hollow like a junkie's, not cruel like a gangster's. They're sad, a bottomless kind of sad. I feel a faint prickling at the base of my skull. Intuition? A warning? I kill the thought immediately. Intuition is the enemy of the professional. I'm not paid to analyze my target's sadness. I'm paid to stop their hearts. I download the full file. Address, schedule, habits. I close the laptop. I finish my bourbon in one swallow. Amelia, I say out loud. The name sounds strange in the silence of the apartment. It's a soft name. Too soft for this broken city. Shame. I get up and walk to my weapons cache hidden behind a false wall. Tomorrow, the hunt begins. Tomorrow, Amelia Vance enters my world. And nobody walks out of my world unscathed. The city keeps growling outside, indifferent. The rain keeps falling. Another night in Baltimore, another life to take. Business as usual. The Vesper Club is where Baltimore's elite comes to forget they live in a city rotting from the inside. The air in here doesn't smell like grime and exhaust. It smells like new leather, Cuban cigars, and the perfume of women who cost more per hour than a factory worker makes in a month. I hand my car to the valet. The kid in the red vest barely looks at me, but I catch his hands trembling slightly as he takes my keys. Did he recognize the car? Or maybe he just caught my eyes. People have that survival instinct buried deep in their reptilian brain. They know when they're in the presence of something dangerous. I cross the marble lobby. The crystal chandelier overhead must be worth the price of 2 houses in West Baltimore. Obscene. But that's how the world works. The monsters in suits eat off gold plates, while the monsters in the street eat out of dumpsters. Me? I'm the cleaning crew that moves between both worlds. I skip the main bar. I go straight to the private elevator at the end of the hall. The bouncer, a bald giant with an earpiece, steps aside without a word. He knows who I am, or rather, he knows who I'm here for. The gilded doors close behind me, sealing me in a hushed silence. I study my reflection in the polished metal. My suit is impeccable, tailored specifically to conceal the Glock 19 holstered under my left arm. My face is a mask of calm indifference. The elevator opens at the top floor, the private lounge. The room is dark, lit only by a few dim lamps and the glow of the city bleeding through the massive floor-to-ceiling windows. A man is waiting, seated in a deep purple velvet chair, his back to the panoramic view. This isn't my usual contact. This isn't some nervous middleman. This is Julian Thorne. I recognize him immediately. even though we've never met. Thorne is one of the most powerful men on the East Coast. Real estate, import-export, and probably a dozen other operations, less legal ones that bankroll the rest. A man who never gets his hands dirty. He pays people like me for that. "Travis," he says. His voice is low, smooth, velvet dragged over gravel. He doesn't stand. He gestures toward the chair across from him with the hand holding a glass of whiskey. I sit. I say nothing. Silence is my best negotiating tool. Thorne smiles at me, but the smile never reaches his eyes. Shark eyes. "You're punctual. I appreciate that. Punctuality is the courtesy of kings, and killers, apparently." I don't move a muscle. "You asked for the best," I say flatly. "Here I am." Thorne sets his glass on the smoked glass coffee table. Next to it sits a thick brown envelope. "I have a problem, Travis. A small, aggravating problem. Like a splinter under the fingernail you can't quite get out." He nudges the envelope toward me with his fingertips, like the object disgusts him. I don't normally handle this kind of detail personally, but this situation requires absolute discretion. No loose ends, no witnesses, no questions. I take the envelope. It's heavy. I open it. Cash. A lot of it. $50,000 in used, untraceable bills. And that's just the down payment. Underneath the money, the file. I pull out the first page. Same photo I saw on my encrypted screen earlier. Amelia Vance. This version is sharper. She's sitting on a bench, a book open in her lap, lost in thought. She's wearing a coat too big for her, a gray scarf. She looks harmless. I flip through the rest. Literature student, waitress, escort, unaffiliated. Debt, unknown. Threat level, none. I look up at Thorne. For the first time in years, I feel a flicker of something I don't recognize. Confusion. My targets are usually armed men, inconvenient witnesses in federal cases, or corrupt business rivals. Amelia Vance looks like the kind of girl who'd apologize if you bumped into her on the street. She's a college student, I say, neutral tone. But it's a statement that demands a justification. Thorne sighs, irritated. He picks up his glass and swirls the amber liquid. She's a complication. Let's just say she has something that doesn't belong to her, or she saw something she shouldn't have. The details don't concern you. He leans forward, his face moving into the lamp's circle of light. His features harden. What you need to know is that she needs to disappear, permanently. And it needs to look like an accident. An overdose, maybe, or a bad encounter that goes wrong in an alley. Baltimore is dangerous, after all. That kind of thing happens every day. I look at the photo again. A bad encounter. Euphemism of the century. I'm a professional. I'm not a white knight. I don't rescue damsels in distress. If I start choosing my targets based on how innocent they look, I'm dead. In this business, hesitation is a terminal disease. And yet, something's off. Thorne is a man who moves millions. Why pay a fortune to eliminate a girl working escort gigs to cover tuition? There's a story behind this. A dirty one. But my bank account doesn't care about dirty stories. The price? I ask. Double your standard rate, plus a bonus if it's done within 48 hours. Thorne holds my gaze. It's the kind of number that funds an early retirement, Travis. Or a disappearing act, if you're tired of this city. I slide the photo back into the envelope. Feel the grain of the paper under my fingers. This is her death warrant. By sealing it, I seal Amelia's fate. 48 hours, I say. Consider it done. Thorne visibly relaxes. He smiles again, satisfied. Excellent. I knew you were the right man. I was told you have no conscience. That's a rare quality. He raises his glass like a toast. To the end of problems. I don't respond. I stand, envelope in hand. It feels heavier than it should. I don't drink on the job, I say coldly. I turn and walk to the elevator. I feel Thorne's gaze on my back, heavy, calculating. He thinks he bought me. He thinks I'm his attack dog. In the elevator going down, I open the envelope one more time. Just one last look. Amelia. Her face is burned into my retinas. Why did I agree so fast? The money, habit, or boredom? Maybe I'm looking for something. Maybe I'm trying to see if, after all these years, there's still something human left in me capable of being disgusted by what I do. I cross the lobby in reverse. The music feels louder now, more aggressive. The laughter of the clientele reaches me like distorted barking. Outside, the cold air hits my face. A blessing. I get in my car and set the envelope on the passenger seat. It sits there like a silent passenger. I start the engine. 48 hours. First, I need to learn who she really is, not what the file says. Files lie. People lie. Only habits tell the truth. I'm going to watch her live before I make her die. That's my method. I need to know the rhythm of her breathing before I stop it. I pull up her apartment address on my burner phone, a rundown building on the edge of the east side. Not exactly a place for a college student, but perfect for someone hiding or someone with no other choice. I drive through the sleeping city. The streetlights scroll past, rhythmic. I think about Thorne's line. I was told you have no conscience. He's right. I don't. So why is there this strange tightness in my gut? A cold, hard knot. It's probably hunger. I haven't eaten since yesterday. That's all. Just hunger. I park 2 blocks from Amelia's building. Kill the headlights. I sit in the dark. I am the monster under the bed. And Amelia Vance doesn't know yet that her life has become a countdown.
The smell of old books has always been my only real refuge. Dust, dried glue, yellowed paper. To most people, that's just must and age. To me, it's the smell of freedom. I'm sitting in the back of the university library at an isolated table near the window. Outside, Baltimore's sky hangs low and gray and heavy with threats, same as always. But here, between the shelves of Victorian literature, I can almost pretend I'm normal. Just a 22-year-old working on her thesis about the Bronte sisters. A girl whose biggest problem might be a bad grade or a spilled coffee. I rub my tired eyes. The words blur on the page. I am no bird, and no net ensnares me. I am a free human being with an independent will. Jane Eyre. I read the line 3 times. A lump forms in my throat. It's a lie. Or at least, it's a luxury I can't afford. I'm not free. I'm chained to this city by debts that aren't even mine, inherited from a father who chose the bottle over his daughter, then disappeared and left a bloody tab behind him. My phone buzzes on the wooden table. The screen lights up. A message from Marcus. Not a friend. My agent. Or more accurately, the man who takes 30% of my soul every night. 9 p.m. Hotel Royal Sonesta. Room 412. Mr. Henderson. Look elegant. Red. I stare at the screen until it goes dark. The message stays burned into my retinas. The library feels colder suddenly. The magic of the books evaporates. Reality comes crashing back, brutal and ugly. I pack my things slowly. Every movement costs me. Pen into the case, book closed, coat on. It's like suiting up in lead armor. I have to go. Cinderella in reverse has to get ready for the ball. Except at midnight, I don't lose a glass slipper. I lose a little more of my self-respect. The bus ride back to my apartment is a slow descent into hell. I stare through the dirty window. The nice neighborhoods give way to cracked streets, storefronts with iron shutters pulled down, clusters of men loitering on corners. Baltimore is a beast that breathes misery. I hold my bag tight against my chest. No money inside, just my coursework and a small pepper spray I keep in my pocket, fist wrapped around it. A pitiful defense. My building is a cracked gray concrete block. The elevator has been broken for 3 months. I climb 4 flights on foot, my steps echoing through the stairwell that smells like urine and bleach. Once inside, I lock all 3 deadbolts. Clack, clack, clack. My ritual. The apartment is tiny. 1 main room, a kitchenette, a bathroom where hot water is a hit-or-miss luxury. But it's clean. It's the only place in the world I control. On the wall above my narrow bed, I've pinned a postcard. A little dog-eared at the corners. It's a photo of the Pacific coastline. Oregon. Cliffs, green trees, a wild and endless ocean. That's my why. That's what all of this is for. Every dollar I don't hand over to cover my father's debt goes into a shoebox hidden under a loose floorboard beneath my bed. The escape fund. 6 more months. If I keep the pace, in 6 months I get on a bus, then a train, and I never look back. I go to the bathroom. I look at myself in the mirror, spotted with black water stains. I see a pale girl with dark circles and tangled brown hair. I take a long breath. Time to make Amelia the student disappear. Time to build Amy. Amy is who they want. Amy is confident. Amy loves luxury. Amy doesn't cry. I begin the transformation. Foundation to hide the exhaustion. Mascara to open the eyes, make them sharp. Lipstick, shade called blood red. Marcus specified red. I brush my hair until it shines. I step into the dress I keep zipped in a garment bag. Black silk, slit up the thigh, neckline cut just right. It costs more than everything else I own combined, but it's an investment. Rich men don't pay for misery, they pay for the dream. I put on my heels. I gain 4 inches. My posture shifts. My chin lifts. In the mirror, Amy stares back at me. She's beautiful. She's cold. She looks untouchable. But inside, Amelia is screaming in silence. The Hotel Royal Sonesta is another world. Thick carpet, gilded trim, muffled silence. The concierge doesn't ask me anything. He knows. I'm a guest. I ride up to the 4th floor, room 412. I stop in front of the door. My heart is hammering so hard, I'm afraid he'll hear it from the other side. This is always the hardest moment, the second before knocking. I close my eyes. I think about the postcard, the ocean, the salt wind, Oregon. Do it for Oregon. I knock. 3 soft taps. The door opens. Mr. Henderson is a man in his mid-50s, soft around the middle, wearing a hotel bathrobe that's blinding white. He probably slipped his wedding ring into his pocket in the cab. He smells like whiskey and cheap soap. "Amy," he says with a smile that's trying to be charming, but lands somewhere near predatory.
You look stunning.
Good evening, sir, I say. Amy's voice, low, warm, conspiratorial. I step inside. The door closes behind me with a heavy thud. That's the sound of a prison cell. The next 2 hours are a blur. I learned this technique, dissociation. My body is here, in this room. I smile at the unfunny jokes. I sip the champagne I hate. I let his hands settle on me. I let his warm, boozy breath graze my neck. But my mind is somewhere else entirely. I'm in the library. I'm debating romantic poetry. I'm walking on a deserted beach. I am not the thing he's using. I am not this commodity. When it's over, he leaves an envelope on the nightstand. He's in a hurry now. Guilt or fear of his wife takes back over. He won't look me in the eyes anymore. I've become an inconvenient witness to his own weakness.
Thank you, Amy. Until next time.
I take the envelope without opening it. Good evening, sir. I get dressed in the bathroom. I scrub my skin with a damp towel, hard until it goes red, as if I could erase his traces. But you never really erase them. They stack up, layer after layer, staining something deeper than skin. I pull my coat over my evening dress. The contrast is almost absurd. I leave through the service entrance. The cold night air hits me like a slap. Best moment of the evening. It's over. I survived one more day. I walk fast. No cab. I'm saving the money. It's past midnight. The streets are more dangerous now. I squeeze the envelope inside my coat pocket. $300, minus Marcus's cut. Enough to cover part of the rent and put $50 in the box under the floorboard. $50 toward my freedom. So little. And yet, everything. I'm walking along a dark commercial strip. Storefronts all shuttered. Then it hits me. A strange sensation. A shiver that has nothing to do with the cold. The hair on my arm stands up. I stop. I turn around. The street is empty. Just parked cars, scraps of paper skipping in the wind, the long shadows of street lamps. Nobody. And yet, I know I'm not alone. It's an instinct, the kind you develop when you're prey. Someone is watching. I scan the darkness. Nothing moves. You're being paranoid, Amelia. I whisper to myself. It's exhaustion. It's stress. I start walking again, faster this time, almost running. The sound of my heels cracks against the sidewalk like tiny gunshots. Tonight, the city feels different, more hostile, like the darkness has eyes. I don't know that just a few yards away, in a black car with tinted windows, a man is watching me. I don't know that he isn't looking at my legs or my dress the way other men do. I don't know that he's calculating distance, timing, and the cleanest way to take my life. I finally reach my building. I punch in the entry code with trembling fingers. The door opens. I slip inside. Safe. I take the stairs 4 at a time. Once in my apartment, I collapse against the locked door, sliding down to the floor. I pull out the envelope. I count the bills. The tears come, warm and salty. I let them fall, just for a minute. Then I get up. I wipe my face. I go to the wall and lift the Oregon postcard. I brush it with my fingertips. Just a little longer, I whisper. Hold on. I undress. I wipe off Amy's makeup. Amelia comes back. I slip under the cold sheets. I close my eyes, hoping not to dream. But outside, in the Baltimore night, the nightmare is only just beginning.
And this time, it has a name, a face, and a contract with my name on it.
Patience is a deadlier weapon than a sniper rifle. Any idiot can pull a trigger, but it takes monk-level discipline to sit in a car for 10 straight hours, no movement, no food, and simply become part of the scenery. I've been following her for 3 days, 72 hours of near uninterrupted observation. I know her schedule better than she does. I know she drinks her coffee black, no sugar, probably because it's cheaper that way. I know she always walks on the left side of the street so she can see oncoming traffic. I know she checks her phone every 15 minutes, not for messages from friends, she doesn't have any, but to track the time until her next appointment. I'm parked across from the university campus. My car is a shadow among shadows, windows tinted to the legal maximum. I'm invisible. 4 p.m. Classes are out. Students pour through the doors in waves. It's a parade of gilded youth. Designer jackets, top-of-the-line earbuds, effortless laughter. They walk with the arrogance of people who know dinner will be hot tonight and their parents will cover the rent. Then I see her. Amelia. She doesn't move like them. She moves fast, head down, shoulders hunched under a backpack that's seen better days. Gray coat a little too big for her, a wool scarf starting to fray at the edges. I raise the binoculars. I zoom in on her face. She's exhausted. That's the first thing that hits me. A deep fatigue carved into the purple hollows under her eyes, into the pallor of her skin. She looks like a soldier coming back from the front, not a literature student. She stops near a bench and drops her bag heavily. She pulls out a book. 10 minutes before her bus. Most people would use 10 minutes to breathe. Not her. She opens the book, uncaps a yellow highlighter, and gets to work. Her lips move slightly as she reads. She's memorizing. Then her head drops forward, sleep catching up with her. I watch, fascinated. Is she going to crack? A second later, she jerks upright. She slaps herself lightly on the cheek. Clap. I can almost hear it from here. She shakes her head, takes a sip from a reusable plastic bottle that's been refilled 1,000 times, and goes back to reading. I lower the binoculars. Interesting. Thorne's file described her as a nuisance, a girl gaming the system, a problem child. What I'm looking at is discipline, pure discipline. I know what that looks like. I learned it in paramilitary training camps and on the streets of Baltimore. Forcing yourself to stay awake when your body is begging you to quit. Moving forward when your legs want to give out. She has that in her. So why is a girl like this worth a $100,000 contract? She packs up her things. The bus arrives. She gets on. I start the engine and follow, 2 cars back. Standard procedure. The shift from day to night is brutal for Amelia. I watch her walk into a grimy fast food place near the bus depot. She's not there to eat. She goes to the bathroom. 10 minutes later, the door opens. Amelia is gone. A different woman walks out. The gray coat is folded into her bag. She's wearing a synthetic leather jacket now, a short skirt, black tights. Her hair is down, falling in waves over her shoulders. Her face is made up. She's put on her war mask. That's when I understand. She's living a double life. Not for pleasure, not for vice. Out of necessity. I recognize that look. It's the look of someone walking into battle without a weapon. I follow her to the club district, loud, lit up with garish neon that stings the eyes. The air smells like alcohol and bad decisions. She stops in front of the Blue Velvet, a private club. She doesn't go straight in. She smokes a cigarette nervously, even though she clearly doesn't enjoy it. Small drags, like she's using it as a prop. Then it happens. The incident that reframes everything. Two guys push out of the club, drunk, loud. Expensive suits, loosened ties. The kind of bankers or lawyers who come here to feel powerful. One of them spots her. He stops, swaying. I crack my window a few inches. The sound reaches me, amplified by the narrow street's acoustics. "Hey, sweetheart. Waiting for someone?" He reaches for her arm. Amelia steps back one pace. No panic, just a calculated retreat. "I'm working," she says. "Leave me alone." Her voice is firm, cold. The guy laughs, offended. He grabs her wrist. I feel my muscles tighten. My hand slides toward the door handle. Stupid reflex. Why would I intervene? If she dies tonight, the contract is fulfilled without me wasting a single bullet. That's the ideal scenario. A bad encounter, just like Thorne suggested. I should stay put and watch. I should hope it escalates. But I don't move. I just watch. Amelia doesn't scream. She doesn't struggle like a victim. She plants her heels into the ground. She moves toward the guy, invading his space, which throws him off. She looks him dead in the eyes. I can't hear what she says. She's speaking too low. But I can see the effect. The guy's face shifts, from drunk confidence to confusion, then to something like unease. He drops her wrist like he burned himself. He backs off, mutters an insult to save face, and rejoins his friend waiting further down the sidewalk. I sit back. She didn't use pepper spray. She didn't call for help. She used the only thing she had, authority. The raw force of her desperation. She rubs her wrist where he grabbed her, takes a long breath, tosses her hair back, and walks into the club. I light a cigarette in the dark of my car. The ember glows. She's brave. That's the word that settles in my mind. Courage isn't the absence of fear. I watched her shake right after. Courage is being terrified and holding the line anyway. Amelia Vance is not a simple victim. She's a survivor, like me. Suddenly the contract feels dirty. I usually kill wolves, men who chose the game of violence. This time I've been asked to put down a doe who learned to bite so she wouldn't get devoured. It doesn't change the outcome, of course. A contract is a contract. I'm not paid for my feelings. But it changes the method. I decide not to do it tonight. Too easy, too cheap. She deserves better than a stray bullet outside a sordid club. I want to understand. I want to know why Thorne is afraid of her. Because that's exactly what this is. You don't send an elite contractor after a broke college girl unless you're scared. What kind of threat does she pose? I keep watching. The hours pass. 3 a.m., she comes out. She walks alone toward the night bus stop. I follow at a crawl. My engine purrs like a big cat. She's alone on the sidewalk. The street is empty. This is the ideal moment. I could accelerate. One turn of the wheel, one impact, hit and run. The case closed in 24 hours. I put both hands on the wheel, feel the cold leather against my palms. My foot presses the accelerator, just slightly. The engine climbs in the revs. Amelia doesn't turn around. She looks up at the sky. No stars in Baltimore, just orange light pollution. But she's looking up anyway, like she's searching for a way out. I ease off the pedal. The engine drops back to idle. No, not like this. I pick up my phone and pull up the digital file. I reread the notes. There's a piece of the puzzle missing. I can't kill what I don't understand. That's rule number 1. That's what keeps me alive. If I kill her now, I'll never know why someone wanted her dead. And ignorance is dangerous. I watch her board the night bus. The doors hiss shut. The bus pulls away, taking my target with it. I sit there in the middle of the empty road. I'm not going to kill her yet. I'm going to play. I'm going to test her, see how far that courage goes. See if she's as solid as she looks. I'm going to get inside her head before I make her heart stop. It's cruel, it's sadistic, but it's the only justification I've found for the delay. The only lie I can tell myself, that I'm simply doing my job with extra diligence. I turn around and drive home. Tomorrow I won't just be an observer anymore. Tomorrow I become her shadow. I'm going to make her feel my presence, see if the little student holds up when the monster stops hiding under the bed and starts scratching at the door. Back home, the file sits on the passenger seat, mocking me. I no longer have 48 hours. I decided to take my time, and if Thorne doesn't like it, Thorne can wait. Nobody gives orders to death. A lock is a lie people tell themselves. They think a piece of machined metal can hold the outside world at bay. Touching, really. It takes me exactly 11 seconds to open the door to apartment 4B. No sound, no click, just the oiled slide of a mechanism giving way. I step inside. The apartment smells like stale air, cheap detergent, and a faint trace of vanilla. That's Amelia's smell. I'm not here to kill her. Not today. I'm here to plant a seed. Thorne's file called her resilient. I want to see that. I want to watch how long it takes for resilience to curdle into paranoia. Fear is an acid. It eats through everything, even the strongest foundations. I close the door behind me. I pull on blue surgical latex gloves. I don't touch anything of value. I'm not a thief. I'm a ghost. I move slowly through the single room, pathetically small. A neatly made bed, a wobbly table, a stack of books. I stop in front of the wall where the Oregon postcard is pinned. That's her totem, her hope. I peel it off carefully. I shift it 5 centimeters to the left, just enough for the eye to catch unconsciously, not enough to be obvious. I leave a finger smear in the dust on the wall where it used to be, a blank mark. I move to the kitchenette. I open the cabinet. A box of coffee, some pasta, a chipped mug. I pick up the mug. I set it on the nightstand beside the bed, like someone sat there and watched her sleep. It's a cruel game, I know that. Pure gaslighting. Make the target doubt her own memory, her own sanity. Why am I doing this? Boredom, maybe? Or maybe I'm looking for a crack. If she breaks over a displaced mug, she doesn't deserve my respect. If she holds, then maybe I'll find out why Thorne fears her so much. I sit in the only chair in the room. I wait. I won't be here when she arrives. I'll leave just before. I want my presence to soak into the walls. I want her to feel, the moment she walks in, that the air has shifted, that the atoms have rearranged. That's the predator's privilege, marking territory without even having to piss on it. I check my watch. 6:45 p.m. She finishes her shift at the university cafeteria in 15 minutes. She'll be here by 7:15. I have 30 minutes to turn her sanctuary into a haunted house. I get up and go to the window. I unlock the latch. I open it a millimeter. Baltimore's cold wind seeps in, a thin, almost imperceptible whistle. Like breathing. Perfect.
My feet are killing me. A dull, grinding ache working its way up my calves. 8 hours on my feet, serving lattes and muffins to students who won't even look me in the eye. I'm invisible to them. Just a pair of hands holding out a paper cup. Sometimes I wish I actually were invisible. Gone completely. I climb the stairs of my building. Each step is a small victory over exhaustion. 4th floor. I dig out my keys. I can't wait to lock myself in, to hit pause on the world, to just be Amelia, the girl who reads, and not Amelia the waitress or Amy the escort. I insert the key. The lock turns too easily. I frown. I always double lock it in the morning. Always. It's a compulsion. 1, 2 turns. I push the door open. Everything looks normal. Silence greets me. I step inside and lock up behind me. Clack, clack. I set my bag down. A strange feeling crawls up my spine, like a cold current. I look toward the window. The curtains shift slightly. I move closer. The window is open. My heart skips a beat. I never touch that window. It's been painted shut since I moved in. I've never been able to budge it. I reach out and push the frame. It swings freely. That's impossible, I whisper. I scan the room. Nothing's missing. My laptop, 10 years old, but everything to me is there. The few bills I've hidden in the tea tin are there. I back up. Maybe the landlord came in? For a repair? But he never gives notice, and he never fixes anything. I go to sit on the bed. My knees are unsteady. That's when I see it. My mug. My favorite mug, the one with the chipped handle, sitting on the nightstand. I freeze. This morning I washed it. I put it on the drying rack in the kitchen. I remember it perfectly. I almost dropped it and caught it at the last second. I never drink coffee in bed. I'm terrified of staining my sheets. I only have one spare set. So why is it here? I look around the apartment. It looks the same, and yet everything feels wrong, like one of those dreams where you come home, but the rooms have shifted. I feel watched. I spin around. Is someone there? My voice shakes. It sounds ridiculous in the small, empty space. No answer. Just the whistle of wind through the window I haven't closed yet. I run to the window and slam it shut. I turn the latch. I check under the bed, inside the closet, in the shower. Nothing. Nobody. I go back and sit on the bed, eyes fixed on that stupid mug. You're losing it, Amelia, I say out loud. You're just exhausted. You must have put it there this morning while you were getting dressed and you forgot. That's the logical explanation. A tired brain does strange things. Blackouts. I pick up the mug and put it back in the kitchen, almost violently. I refuse to be afraid of my own home. This is my only place. If I start being scared here, I have nowhere left to go. I go to the wall to look at my Oregon postcard. I need to calm down. I stare at it. Something's wrong. The dust. There's a cleaner line to the right of the card. It moved. It didn't move by itself. Someone touched it. A wave of nausea rolls through me. I'm not losing my mind. Someone was in here. Someone who took nothing. Someone who just rearranged my life. Why? To show me they could? I back up until my spine hits the opposite wall. I slide down to the floor and pull my knees to my chest. I fish the pepper spray out of my bag and squeeze it in my fist until my knuckles go white. I don't sleep that night. I sit with my eyes wide open in the dark, listening to every sound the building makes. Every creak is a footstep. Every shadow is a hand reaching out.
The next morning, I'm sitting on a campus bench, a newspaper open across my knees. Amelia walks past. She's changed. Yesterday she moved fast and with purpose. Today she walks with her head on a swivel. Her movements are jerky. She hugs her bag to her chest like a shield. Her eyes sweep every face around her. She's scanning for a threat she can't identify or describe. She looks terrified. And yet, she's here. She's going to class. She didn't call the police. I hacked her phone. I would have known. She didn't run. I fold the newspaper. Time to raise the stakes. Breaking and entering was Act 1. Omnipresence is Act 2. I follow her to the library. She goes to her usual spot, but this time she picks a table with her back against the wall. She's learning fast. I settle in 2 rows behind her, hidden by a shelf of law books. I stare at the back of her head. They say humans can feel a gaze. It's a remnant from our days as prey on the savannah, a prickling at the base of the skull. I pour every ounce of focus onto her. I project intention. I'm here. I see you. 2 minutes later, she reaches up and scratches the back of her neck. She shifts in her chair. She's trying to read, but she hasn't turned a page. Then she spins around hard. Her eyes sweep the room. I'm already hidden. All she sees are studious students. She turns back to her book, but she's wound tight as a spring. I pull out my phone. I have her number. I dial. I watch her flinch when her phone buzzes on the table. She stares at it like it's a live grenade. She hesitates. She answers. Hello? Her voice is barely a thread of air. I say nothing. I just activate the microphone so she can hear the ambient sound. The hushed quiet of the library. The rustle of a turned page. A distant cough. I want her to understand that the call is coming from inside the room. Her eyes go wide. She gets it. She's on her feet in a second, nearly knocking the chair over. She shoves everything into her bag and runs for the exit. I watch her go. I don't follow right away. I savor the moment. I just shattered her last safe space. Nowhere is safe anymore. Not her apartment, not the university. The whole world just turned hostile. I stand up slowly and pocket my phone. Cruel, yes, but fascinating. Most people would have collapsed by now. She goes into survival mode. She calculates. She adapts. She's passing the test. But the test isn't over. I want to see what she does when she's cornered. I walk out of the library. The sun is pale and weak. I feel strangely connected to her. My targets are usually objects. Amelia has become a subject. I still don't know if I'm going to kill her. The decision hangs, suspended. For now, I'm the cat. She's the mouse. And the mouse is starting to realize the maze has no exit.
Fear has a taste. Metallic, like a coin wedged under your tongue. Bitter, like burnt coffee. And for the past 48 hours, that taste hasn't left my mouth. I'm standing in front of the bathroom mirror and I barely recognize the girl staring back. My eyes are red, shot through with blood. The dark circles beneath my lids look like bruises. I slept maybe 2 hours, in 20-minute stretches,
sitting in a chair I'd wedged under the front door handle. Did he come back? I don't know. Nothing moved this time. No displaced mug, no open window. But the air in the apartment feels wrong. Used. Like someone breathed my oxygen while I was gone. I splash cold water on my face. "Pull yourself together, Amelia," I whisper. "I have to go to class. I have to work tonight. I can't stop living just because I'm unraveling. If I stop, I don't pay Marcus. If I don't pay Marcus, the men who broke my father's legs will come for mine." Between an imaginary ghost and very real loan sharks, the choice makes itself. I step outside. Baltimore's sky is a flat, milky white, blinding without being bright. The moment my foot hits the sidewalk, it comes back. The gaze. It's physical, a pressure between my shoulder blades. I spin around. The street is alive with ordinary things: a mother pushing a stroller, a man in work clothes smoking a cigarette, cars moving past. Nothing wrong. And yet my instincts are screaming, he's here. I start walking toward the bus stop. Walking is the wrong word. I'm fleeing. My steps are short and fast. I squeeze my bag against my body like a bulletproof vest. A black car rolls slowly past me. My heart stops. I stare at the tinted windows. I can't see inside. Just my own reflection, distorted and terrified, staring back. The car doesn't stop. It keeps going and turns at the corner. It's just a car, idiot. There are thousands of black cars in this city. I get on the bus. I go all the way to the back corner, the only seat where nobody can be behind me. I scan every passenger. That man with the cap, why is he looking this way? Oh, he's looking at his phone. The woman with the newspaper, why did she glance up when I got on? I'm losing my mind. I can feel it happening. The walls of my reason crumbling, brick by brick.
Fear is a fascinating science. I'm parked 2 streets over in a side alley, engine off. I have a clean sight line to the bus stop through the live feed of a small camera I magnetically attached to a lamppost last night. I watch her board. She's on the edge of breaking. Her movements are too quick, too sharp. She looks like a bird trapped in a glass room, beating itself against walls it can't see. I start the car. I'm not going to tail her closely this morning. I'm going to let her marinate in her own anxiety. That's the secret. Once you've planted the seed of fear, you don't need to water it constantly. The target's imagination does the rest of the work. Every shadow becomes a monster. Every sound becomes a footstep. She's building her own hell right now. All I have to do is watch the flames climb. I take a parallel route and get to campus ahead of her. I park in the visitor lot. I get out. Today, I don't hide in the car. I want to be a silhouette. Long black coat, turtleneck, sunglasses. A film noir cliché, but intentional. I want to be recognizable without being identifiable. A dark shape in her peripheral vision. I watch her step off the bus. She nearly stumbles. She looks around frantically. I'm 50 yards away, leaning against a tree, still as a stone. She turns her head. Her gaze crosses me. She stops. For a second, our eyes meet, even though she can't see mine behind the dark lenses. I don't move a millimeter. I'm a statue. She squints. She's trying to figure out if I'm real or a hallucination born from sleep deprivation. I decide to move. I turn my head slowly, as if looking at someone else, and walk away at an easy pace, disappearing behind a cluster of students. When I glance back, She's still frozen, white as chalk. She doesn't know. That's the worst part, not knowing. If I had attacked her, she could have reacted. Run, screamed, fought back. But this? I'm just a man standing near a tree, doing nothing. There's no crime, nothing to report. "Officer, a man was standing outside and he wasn't doing anything." They'd laugh her out of the station. She's alone, completely alone. I get back in the car. Phase 2, confirmed. She's starting to doubt her own perception. Tonight, I'll test her physical limits.
The day is a waking nightmare. I'm sitting in comparative literature, and I can't hear a single word the professor says. Every voice around me is underwater. I draw black spirals in the margins of my notebook, over and over, until the pen tears through the paper. The man by the tree. Was it him? He had the same build as the shadow I thought I saw last night. But he left. He didn't approach me. Why would anyone be watching me? I'm nobody. I have no money. I don't know any state secrets. Unless it's connected to my father. An old debt. A vendetta. If that's it, they won't just kill me. They'll hurt me first. That thought makes me physically sick. I have to get out of the classroom. I run to the bathroom and lock myself in a stall. I breathe hard, trying to slow my heart down to something that doesn't feel like it's about to tear through my ribs. Evening comes too fast. The sun goes down, and with it, my last defenses. Night belongs to the monsters. I leave campus. I have to work. No choice. But I refuse to take the bus tonight. Standing still at a stop, exposed and static, I can't do it. I decide to walk to the club district. It's 30 minutes on foot, but at least I'm moving. If I'm moving, I can run. I take the wide lit avenues. I walk fast, my heels cracking against the pavement. Tack, 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 tack. 10 minutes in, I hear it. An engine. A low, steady, persistent rumble. A car rolling at walking speed behind me. I don't turn around right away. I count to 3. I pivot. A black sedan. Tinted windows. No front plate. The same one. The same car from this morning. Panic detonates in my chest like a grenade. This isn't paranoia anymore. This is real. I run. I stop caring about looking composed or protecting my heels. I just run. The engine growls behind me. The car accelerates. I cut hard into a narrower street, hoping it's too tight for him to follow. The car turns too, tires shrieking on the asphalt. I spot an alley on my right, too narrow for a car. I throw myself into it. I nearly go down over an overturned trash can. I run through the dark, guided only by the faint glow of light at the far end. Behind me, I hear the car brake hard at the alley entrance. A door slams. Footsteps. Heavy. Fast. He's following on foot. Help me, help me, help me. I pray silently, not sure who I'm even talking to. I burst out the other side onto a commercial avenue still open for business. People. A 24-hour grocery store. Light. I throw myself against the storefront window, back against the glass, lungs on fire. I turn back toward the alley I just came out of. Nothing. Nobody emerges. The darkness is empty. I stand there, frozen for 10 full minutes. People walk past and stare. A girl in a nice coat, hair wrecked, gasping, staring at an empty alley with wild eyes. He didn't come out. He let me go. Why? That's worse than if he'd caught me. If he'd caught me, it would be over. But this continues. He's playing. I am a toy to him.
I'm back in my car. I can see her through the grocery store window from across the street. She's shaking, her whole body. She looks like a hunted animal that just slipped out of the wolf's jaws. I rest my hands on the wheel. My own hands are trembling slightly. Not from fear, from something else. Excitement. A feeling I hadn't touched in years. The pure adrenaline of the hunt. She made the right call. The alley. Breaking the line of sight. Running toward the light. Most targets either freeze or run in a straight line, which makes them easy to drop. She thought tactically, in the middle of a full panic attack. She's remarkable. I take out my phone. I call Thorne. Voicemail. It's in progress, I say flatly. The target is under close surveillance. I need more time to ensure a credible accident. Don't call me back. I hang up. I'm lying. I don't need more time for the accident. I could blow her apartment tonight with a gas leak. I need more time for her. I'm starting to see something in Amelia. She's not broken. Cracked, yes. But underneath the fragile surface, there's steel. First time in my career I've respected a target. I watch her flag down a cab. She's done walking. Good. She gets in. I don't follow. I know where she's going. I know where she lives. Tonight I'll let her sleep, or try to. Tomorrow I change tactics. Fear has done its work. She's isolated. She no longer trusts her own senses. Now it's time to move to the next phase. Obsession. I don't just want to scare her anymore. I want to understand her. I want to know what she's thinking when she looks right through me. I drive home, but the image of her eyes, wide and wild in the rearview mirror of that alley, stays burned into my mind. I'm supposed to be the hunter, but tonight I have the strange feeling it's her who's captured something. Not my body, my attention. And for a man like me, that is infinitely more dangerous. You still here? If you followed me this far through the streets of Baltimore, it means you've developed a taste for the hunt. So leave a trace, like this video, and subscribe to The Shadows. You want to know how this ends, don't you? Will I really pull the trigger and erase Amelia? And if I refuse the contract, what will the most powerful man in the city do to the weapon that turns against him? Why pay a fortune to eliminate his own daughter? A girl who thought her father was already dead. The rest of this contract doesn't play out here. The hunt continues elsewhere. Click the link in the description to unlock the full story and uncover the truth. Put your headphones on, turn up the sound. We have over 2 more hours to spend together in the dark. See you on the other side.